So Stendori and Pirimagi working well and going very, very beautifully as things currently stand. But there is still a very, very long way to go. So as the battle continues on, it's going to be a really, really strong battle. And we get ourselves into the action for the third and final time in the X30 Super Shifter Brigade. It's been 2 wins thus far for Stendori and Pirimagi, neither of which, of course, are championship point-scoring races. That comes tomorrow, but if Stendori and Pirimagi wins both of the races tomorrow, he will be crowned the 2018 IAME X30 Euro Series Super Shifter champion. So obviously that is going to be something on his mind, at the very back of his mind. He's got to just focus on one race at a time here. Now, Thierry Del Rey is the last one away. For a moment there, I was worried he wasn't going to get away, because that has happened a couple of times to drivers in the X30 Super Shifters this year. Most notably at Marienborg on the formation lap, we had Barry Pullinger break down on his run to the starting grid. But this is now the final race of the day for the X30 Super Shifters as they get ready for the action. So the drivers warming up their tyres and brakes, getting themselves up to temperature, as we race for the third and final time this weekend. And it is the Estonian Stendorian Pirimagi who is going for battle in the first part of the race. So alongside Kevin Ludi on that front row of the starting grid, he will go. It is Ludi and Pirimagi on the front row, as we know from Kasper Korjus and Carlos Leon on the second row. Philip Siva and Nicolas Rohrwasser will go off the third row of the starting grid, and then it is the Belgian Thierry Del Rey and Michel Biffiger on the fourth row. And all 8 of these drivers are incredibly closely matched. They're very similar to each other in terms of lap times, and when I say very similar, it is not unlikely to get these 8 drivers covered by half a second over one fine lap. So they are very closely matched, and that's what makes this such a competitive championship. But so far, in qualifying, they've always been very close. In testing, they've been ridiculously close. But it seems as though Stendorian Pirimagi always seems to save his very best to last. However, he didn't get the pole position lap he wanted from qualifying yesterday, which is why he's had to start every race thus far from second. But on both of those occasions, he has blasted away from that front row of the grid into a decent position, and already taken a very bold lead in the early stages. So if he can do that again, then all is fine and dandy. But that's easier to say than it is to get done. So here they come to the grid. Kevin Ludi, pole position on the inside line. Stendorian Pirimagi, second alongside him on that front row of the grid from Kasper Korjus and Carlos Leon. Philip Siva and Nicolas Rohrwasser, Thierry Del Rey and Michel Biffiger. The last couple of carts get into position, and once again, it's time for Kevin Ludi to stand and deliver. Can he get the start of this race underway into the first corner in first position this time? The lights will come on. We get ready for racing now, and it's a perfect start again for Pirimagi and Leon. Ludi this time is going to get support from Rohrwasser as he only drops to third place. Much better from Kevin Ludi, but still not the start he wanted. And Kasper Korjus again drops back into sixth position as Philip Siva is left to battle with Michel Biffiger for the last 2 positions. Thierry Del Rey's had a good start. He's up to 5th place behind Rohrwasser, but it's Stendorian Pirimagi and Carlos Leon battling away for the victory up front. Pirimagi of Estonia leads. Carlos Leon's getting very close very quickly. Can he get there? Past the Estonian. He's working very hard on this opening lap. He seems to have got him lined up for a move for the lead. He's going to try it. He thinks better of it at the very, very end. And now Ludi's going to get a run on Carlos Leon. Can he get through in a second? Yes, he does. He almost had a run there on the Estonian out in front. So now it is first and second for Pirimagi and Ludi. Now surely we're going to get the battle we wanted as Rohrwasser comes through in the 3rd place past Carlos Leon. But now can he get on terms with his main rival? Stendorian Pirimagi versus Kevin Ludi. Finally we're going to get this showdown as Thierry Del Rey makes the move on Carlos Leon to get into 4th position, and Michel Biffiger gets the move on Kasper Korjus for 7th. So Pirimagi in front of Kevin Ludi. Ludi looks like he's got good pace this time. Surely he's got a chance now to close up on Stendorian Pirimagi and go for a battle. 3rd is Rohrwasser, 4th is Del Rey, 5th is Carlos Leon. Then it's Siva, Biffiger and Kasper Korjus. Out of the final hairpin, This is going to be a really strong challenge from Kevin Luddy this time. He's right on the back of Stendonian Pidimargi. Now he's going to be made to work for it as Luddy dives for the inside. Oh, Pidimargi sweeps around the outside, holds him at bay. Don't even think about it. You're not getting into my universe, Kev. Brilliant racing from Stendonian Pidimargi as he hangs on round the outside, and he's not going to be intimidated by Kevin Luddy. No matter what he tries, he is going to stay resolutely strong in the lead of this race. Luddy's got to try again. And look, Stendonian Pidimargi is actually moving to cover. He feels he's got enough pace that he doesn't actually have to pull away from Kevin Luddy. He's just going to defend. Rohrwasser's right in there for the mix. Luddy's going to try and get a better run out of the hairpin. Can he dive to the inside? He's going to try. He can't quite commit to it without contact. And here comes Rohrwasser to draw up alongside. Will he go for the move? Rohrwasser's going to get up the inside. No, he doesn't. Luddy's going to remain in second place. Now, I wonder if there's been any team tactics discussed between the Spirit Racing team, because this is very different to the world of junior and senior karting. There are team orders to a certain degree in those classes, which is don't take each other off. In the Spirit Racing brigade in the Super Shifters, there may well have been a discussion looking at who's the faster driver over one lap and said, well, let's work together and get you further up. If you can start to get into Stendonian Pidimargi, then there's a chance all of us might have a better chance to win. So here on lap 4 of 12, it looks as though Luddy and Rohrwasser are working in cahoots here. Fourth place though, Thierry Del Rey seems to have a really good strong opportunity here to get himself onto the podium as he charges after Rohrwasser. Now Luddy's having another crack at Pidimargi. He's not close enough to go for the move yet. As he goes through turn 1, up towards the hairpin at turn 2. He's going to come from a long way back if he makes the move. He's not going to there. Through the left-hander at 3, down the short drop, through to turn 4, the hairpin. A very tight and twisty circuit this for Super Shifters. Very fast karts, don't forget. 0 to 60 in about the same sort of time it takes a Bugatti Veyron to do it. But then these karts do weigh about 3 bags of sugar, but at least they're normally aspirated engines. They're not turbocharged in any way. Just absolutely lightning rod. Now, Pidimargi having to defend Big Star from Kevin Luddy. He actually pulls across the racing line to stop Kevin Luddy having another go at the inside. Luddy's learned from his previous mistake, though. He's trying to line up Pidimargi and go for another run into turn 2. He's going to come from a long way back. And he's still right with the Estonian. Is this going to be the moment? Luddy's going to try. Further back, Rohrwasser and Del Rey are still very close together. Meanwhile, Kasper Korjus has moved up into 7th position, has made the overtaking move on Michel Bifiga. But this battle for the lead between Pidimargi and Luddy has given Rohrwasser and Del Rey a much closer chance to attack. This is no longer a dominant race victory for Stendonian Pidimargi. The Estonian has got to work so hard with Kevin Luddy, Nico Rohrwasser and Thierry Del Rey right behind. Is there going to be the ultimate dive for the lead? Surely it's not going to be any time soon, because they've got to build up to this, but they can't also let the Estonian get out in front. Out of the final turn, Kevin Luddy's got to have a decent result in this one to have a decent chance. He's going to go for the move of the inside. And again, Pidimargi shuts the door in his face. Great work from the Estonian again. And Kevin Luddy is absolutely determined. I will get you, Sten. I am going to pass you. Just accept it. Pidimargi, no chance. I don't think so, buddy. Best lap of the race from Philip Seaver, who is there in 5th position, having made his way past Carlos Leon. And it's not going to be long before he joins this battle. Pidimargi moves across in one fell move to get to the inside line to stop Kevin Luddy getting up the inside. This is very calculated driving for Pidimargi. He is defending exactly as much as he needs to. He is not pushing too hard here. But as a result of that, Nico Rohrwasser is getting impatient in 3rd position. He could do with a victory. And Thierry Del Rey would like a very nice finish as well. But Kevin Luddy in 2nd position looks to me at the moment to be the best shot of beating Stendonian Pidimargi to a race victory here today at Wackersdorf. Into the hairpin once again. Pidimargi up the hill once more. 6 laps done. 7 laps done. 5 to go. And Pidimargi still hanging on in front of Kevin Luddy. Can he make a dive into one of the hairpins? Well, Pidimargi's keeping it nicely and honest as Thierry Del Rey makes the move for 3rd position. Del Rey has got past Nicolas Rohrwasser. Kevin Luddy's trying to get on the undercut of Pidimargi. Pidimargi's wise to the move, but Luddy's got good pace. Can he dive to the inside of the hairpin this time? Again, he's got to back out of it. Pidimargi is just monstering him in these apexes. Brilliant racing between Pidimargi and Kevin Luddy. It is stalemate between these two. And up to the hairpin once more. Terrific race action. You couldn't call it any closer than this between Sten Dorian Pitamagi and Kevin Ludi. The Swiss is determined to get past the Estonian. He really wants to get there as they go through the double right into the midfield section. Then they will get the right-left chicane onto the long set of 3 straights with 3 hairpins. So Sten Dorian Pitamagi has Kevin Ludi breathing down his neck. Thierry Del Rey has come through into 3rd position, whilst Rohrwasser is being caught by his teammate Philipp Siever. And that's a good move from Siever. He's got past Rohrwasser in the hairpin. So Siever is through into 4th place on Rohrwasser. Carlos Leon in 6th. Then it's Korjus and Bifiga. And we've only got 3 laps to go. 3 laps left. And can Kevin Ludi get on terms with Sten Dorian Pitamagi? It's going to be very, very tough to get past him. The Estonian is absolutely lightning around this or any other track in the 2018 calendar. But if anybody's going to stop Sten Dorian Pitamagi clinching the title this weekend, I think it's going to be Kevin Ludi. But he needs to get past him. He needs to get on terms with him and see if he can outfox the Estonian at his own game. Kevin Ludi's going deeper into the hairpin, trying to find a way through on the far side. Kevin Ludi definitely looks like the faster of the 2 of them. If he could just get out of these slower corners with a little bit more speed and gusto, then the man in the lead of the race. 2 to go as they come across the line. Sten Dorian Pitamagi in 1st position. Kevin Ludi now getting alongside him. Surely he can come in. No, he can't. Again he tries, and again it's all to nothing. Now this time Thierry Del Rey is the man in 3rd position, so he really can't afford to lose too much ground to him, because the Belgian is 2nd in the point standings and will want to try and come past the Swiss driver. Sten Dorian Pitamagi is proving to be an impossible man to beat here at Wackersdorf. Tries again and again and again. Now he's got to really nail these next few apexes. If I were him, if I could get close enough to Pitamagi, I would work as hard as possible to try and set him up through turn 2 rather than turn 1, because clearly he's tried 3 times and it hasn't worked. If he gets a good line out of the final hairpin, 1 lap to go, we'll see if Kevin Ludi can get there. He's not close enough to Pitamagi through turn 1, which means he's not going to be close enough through turn 2 either. But Kevin Ludi has definitely not given up yet on this victory. Pitamagi is still right in front of him. Ludi is pushing hard as they come down to the hairpin at 4, through the left, up the crest, through the right. Sweeping again through the next right at 6, into 7 and 8, the right-hander. No curb on the entry, a lot on the exit. And now is there one last chance for Kevin Ludi. He's going to have to do this in the final bend. He comes into the left-hander, up to the penultimate hairpin. If he's going to get this victory, he's going to have to try and get Pitamagi at the final hurdle. But Pitamagi's too strong off the turn. He's not going to get away through. Sten Dorian Pitamagi's been pushed right to the bitter end, but he is going to hang on for the victory in front of Kevin Ludi and Thierry Del Rey. What a battle. That was absolutely sensational from the Super Shifters. But still, nobody can beat Sten Dorian Pitamagi here at Wackersdorf. They've tried every trick in the book. They've got to go home tonight, do their homework and figure out something new, because Sten Dorian Pitamagi has been flawless all 3 heats. He has taken the victory in every single one. And if he performs like this tomorrow, he will be the Super Shifter champion for 2018 in the IAME X30 European Series Karting Championships. The Estonian looking good, and he will start pole position for tomorrow's pre-final. So here's the way it looks. Sten Dorian Pitamagi from Kevin Ludi and Thierry Del Rey. Just 0.3 of a second between them at the flag. Philipp Siever and Nico Rohrwasser 4th and 5th from Carlos Leon in 6th position. Kasper Korjus is 7th ahead of Michel Bifiga in 8th place. And Sten Dorian Pitamagi is looking good to seal the deal here tomorrow. It's going to be a very exciting battle tomorrow, whatever happens. But Sten Dorian Pitamagi is in pole position, quite literally tomorrow, to get the job done. There is one race to go here today before we close up proceedings ready for tomorrow, and that comes from the ever-impressive, incredibly exciting IAME X30 Mini contingent. So a really exciting battle has already occurred twice in the X30 Minis. They've been absolutely spectacular. And we've had 2 different winners from the 2 races as well, in the form of Miguel Perro de Zaraga and Alejandro Melendez. Both drivers have been absolutely meteoric in their first 2 races of the weekend. But Kimi Abraham is still the man in pole position after his brilliant wet qualifying performance yesterday. So Kimi Abraham and Miguel Perez-Araga line up together on that front row of the grid, with the second row of the grid filled by the 927 of Ruben Volt of Estonia and the Dutchman Nathan Ottink for the PDB Racing Team. And then it is the birthday boy Alejandro Melendez in 5th position on the starting grid, and alongside him it is the 931 of the Belgian Patrice Kowalewski. What a grid this is going to be. The driving has obviously been very close indeed between these 6. Obviously, those who are watching the live stream can notice that these guys have slightly different seats to what we've had in the previous 2 rounds of the championship. They're obviously racing with the German homologation seats for X30 Minis in this country, which is the extended seat support behind the driver's head, which is basically a safety precaution in case of any rolls, because that head support is a couple of millimeters above the head of the driver. It protects them in case of a big incident. And it's understandable, but the drivers find it quite frustrating because they're used to a different system, of course. And you'll have noticed as Alejandro Melendez got his race suit on there as well, they've also got a compulsory mandatory rib cage protector, which is quite heavy, which is, they don't normally race with a rib cage protector, of course, but it's a